You put your baby down for the night, and before you even take 2 steps away from the crib, they're awake again. Some nights, it feels like you're doing everything right. The timing, the soothing, the rocking, and sleep still slips through your fingers. And the hardest part is not knowing which tiny habits matter and which ones don't. But what one research team discovered is that 6 simple steps, started right around 4 months, can help your baby sleep better for months. Not rigid schedules, not leaving your baby alone, just 6 gentle habits that create longer stretches, calmer nights, and easier settling. 4 months feels like a turning point because it is. Your baby is more alert, more curious, more easily overstimulated, and suddenly the patterns that worked just weeks ago stop working. Maybe bedtime used to be smooth, and now it's a battle. Maybe your baby used to do one long stretch, and now they wake every hour. Maybe daytime naps feel unpredictable, and the nights feel even harder. You're exhausted, and you're not alone. Every parent reaches a point where they wonder if they're missing something simple, something that could help their baby sleep without feeling harsh or overwhelming. That's exactly the question a team of pediatric researchers in Bangkok wanted to answer. They work at Vajira Hospital at Navamindraduraj University, one of Thailand's major medical centers, and they wanted to understand which early habits actually help babies sleep better and which habits quietly hold them back. Their study, published in BMC Pediatrics, followed more than 300 families starting right at the 4-month checkup. Half the parents watched a short 15-minute sleep education video built around predictable routines and gentle nighttime responses. The other half continued with usual care, and what they found was surprisingly hopeful. Most older research focused on sleep training in bigger babies, not the gentle, everyday habits parents use much earlier. So this team looked at the tiny routines that shape sleep before 6 months, bedtime cues, nighttime soothing, the rhythm of the day, and how babies connect one sleep cycle to the next. By 6 months, the differences were clear. Babies whose parents learned these simple habits slept almost an hour and a half longer at night on average. Their night wakings were shorter and less disruptive, and they were more than twice as likely to get a solid 4-hour stretch of sleep in one go. No harsh methods, no strict rules, just a few early habits repeated consistently. Habits any parent can start tonight. 6 of them made the biggest difference. And the last one is the most powerful of all. Let's start with the foundation that sets everything in motion. Step 1. Build a short, predictable bedtime routine. Picture the end of your day. The lights are dim. Your baby is rubbing their eyes. Everyone is tired. And depending on the night, your bedtime routine might be calm, or rushed, or non-existent. Babies don't need perfect routines. They need predictable ones. In the study, one of the strongest patterns was that babies with a consistent bedtime sequence fell asleep more smoothly and slept more predictably as the months went on. Not because the routine was long or fancy. It was because their bodies learned what was coming next. Warm wash, fresh pajamas, one calming cue. Lights low, bed, 5 to 8 minutes. Every night. Same order. When this pattern repeats, babies begin to shift into sleep mode earlier. Their nervous system winds down, their breathing slows, and settling becomes easier. This step is the base that makes everything else work. But there's a moment right after bedtime, a moment most parents rush into, that can accidentally undo all this progress. Step 2. Pause for a few seconds before responding at night. Here's the scene. It's midnight. You hear a rustle on the baby monitor, a grunt, a tiny cry, and your instinct is to run. But babies make noise in their sleep. A lot of noise. They shift, they fuss, they sigh, they cry out for a moment, and then settle back on their own. In the study, parents who paused for just a few seconds before responding were more likely to have babies who linked sleep cycles on their own as they got older. Not because parents ignored their babies. They didn't. But because those extra seconds gave the baby space to finish a sleep transition. This doesn't mean waiting minutes. It doesn't mean letting your baby cry. It means just a few seconds of watching, listening, and seeing whether they truly need you. Often, they don't. They just needed a moment. But if your baby is fully awake, eyes open, body active, clearly needing support, that's when the next step becomes incredibly powerful. Step 3. Try soothing in the crib before picking up. Your instinct will always be to pick your baby up immediately. You want to comfort them. You want to help. And sometimes lifting them is exactly the right response. But the researchers noticed something important. Babies who experienced soothing in the crib first often developed smoother settling patterns over time. This doesn't mean you never pick them up. It means you start with something small, a gentle hand on their chest, a slow shh sound, a soft jiggle of the mattress, a calming hum. If it works, amazing. If it doesn't, you scoop them up like always. There is no wrong choice. Trying in crib soothing first teaches your baby one powerful message. I can calm down here. And when a baby begins to associate the crib with comfort, not just sleep, nighttime becomes less fragile. Still, nighttime is only half the story. Daytime rhythms shape nighttime sleep even more than most parents realize. Step 4. Create a gentle, predictable daytime rhythm. Parents often focus on fixing night sleep, but most of a nighttime sleep is shaped during the day. In the study, babies with steady daytime rhythms, not perfect ones, just steady, slept longer stretches and woke less often at night. This doesn't mean creating a schedule that rules your life. It means small consistencies. A roughly similar morning wake time, naps that follow a familiar flow, feeding in a predictable pattern, bright daylight during awake periods, dim light during wind downs. A baby's internal clock learns through repetition. Tiny repeated cues add up. You're not aiming for a rigid timeline. You're giving their bodies something reliable to follow. And when daytime becomes steadier, nighttime often starts to feel less chaotic too. But there's a moment during bedtime itself, a moment most parents don't realize is absolutely essential, that makes the biggest difference of all. Step 5. Help your baby fall asleep in the crib, not in your arms. This is the step that created one of the clearest patterns in the research. Here's the moment most parents don't think about. Your baby is drowsy, their eyelids are heavy, you're rocking gently or feeding or cuddling them close. And as soon as they fall fully asleep, you lower them into the crib. But the research suggests something important. The last few seconds of falling asleep matter. Babies who always fall asleep on a parent's body learn that sleep begins with motion or contact. Babies who finish those last few seconds in the crib learn something different. This is where I fall asleep. This is where I can fall back asleep. That tiny shift becomes a huge advantage later when they wake briefly during the night. This step does not mean putting a wide-awake baby down. That almost never goes well. It means rock until drowsy. Pause. Lay them down gently. Keep your hand on them. Shh. Softly. Let them drift off with you right there. It's not dramatic. It's not a big transformation in one night. But over days and weeks, it teaches one of the most important sleep skills. And once your baby starts to get this, you're ready for the most powerful step of all. Step 6. Make daytime naps feel different from nighttime sleep. This is where everything comes together. Babies learn through contrast. They understand the world by noticing differences. And one of the strongest ways to help your baby organize sleep is to make daytime sleep clearly different from nighttime sleep. Naps should feel light, short, and part of the day. Night sleep should feel dark, calm, and long. During the day, keep the room brighter. Let natural light in. Use gentle sounds or regular household noise. Move around normally. Let your baby nap in a familiar space, but don't recreate nighttime conditions. Nighttime sleep, on the other hand, should feel distinctly different. Darkness, soft cues, quiet, stillness, predictable routines. This contrast teaches your baby one powerful truth. This kind of environment means long sleep. This other environment means short sleep. The research highlighted how strongly babies respond to predictable cues. And sleep context, light, sound, and activity is one of the biggest cues of all. When babies don't feel the difference, naps blend into nights, and nights feel like naps. But when naps and nights are clearly different, babies settle faster and sleep longer because their brain knows exactly what to expect. These 6 steps form the core. Then there are 2 bonus moves you can lean on when nights really go off the rails. Bonus step 1. Use a 20-minute reset for overtired babies. Every parent knows this moment. Your baby is exhausted. Their eyes are red. They're rubbing their face. But instead of falling asleep, they unravel, crying, arching, scratching, fighting you with every muscle in their tiny body. Overtiredness is one of the biggest enemies of infant sleep, not because it's dramatic, but because it snowballs. Once a baby crosses that invisible line, soothing becomes much harder, and every step you try, rocking, feeding, bouncing, seems to make things worse. That's where a reset can help. This technique isn't from the study itself, but it fits the same principles: predictable cues, nervous system calming, and gentle, present parenting. When your baby is overtired and spiraling, stop trying to make them sleep. For about 20 minutes, shift your goal. Move to a dim room, but not a pitch dark one. Hold your baby upright against your chest. Don't rock them to sleep. Just hold. Breathe slowly and deeply. Let your body be the calm in the storm. Your baby's nervous system uses you as a regulator. Your breath, your heart rate, your stillness, these are signals they use to settle their own body. After that reset, many babies are finally relaxed enough to try sleep again. You can go back to your bedtime routine and your drowsy and crib step with a calmer baby instead of wrestling overtired chaos. And once you've had a few nights like this, there's one more shift that makes the whole process feel less overwhelming. Bonus step 2. Stop trying to fix the night and start shaping the day. It's natural to obsess over nights. Nights feel urgent. Nights feel endless. Nights feel like the thing you need to fix right now. But one of the biggest lessons from the research is that nighttime sleep is built during the day. Daytime rhythm, calming patterns, and consistent cues create the foundation that makes nights more stable. Not the other way around. When parents try to fix nights without shaping days, everything feels harder. You end up feeling like you're failing at bedtime, when really, you just didn't get much help from the hours that came before it. Shifting your mindset changes the pressure. Instead of thinking, how do I fix bedtime at 8 p.m.? You start thinking, how do I set up bedtime at 9 a.m.? How can I give my baby tiny clues all day that make sleep feel easier later? That might look like steadier wake times, a little more daylight and play between naps, a little more calm before bed, and more chances for your baby to finish falling asleep in the crib. This softer mindset lines up with what the study found. Early habits, repeated in small ways throughout the day, led to meaningful improvements at night. You're not forcing sleep, you're growing it. So, if we pull this all together, you have a gentle system. 6 core steps that shape how your baby understands sleep, plus 2 bonus moves for the toughest nights. Each one is small on its own, but together they create a clear, predictable world your baby can relax into. If you want one thing to try tonight, pick the smallest change that feels doable. Maybe you decide on a simple 3-step bedtime routine and stick with it. Maybe you practice that 10-second pause before rushing in. Maybe you dim the lights at night and keep naps a little brighter. You don't have to do everything at once. You just have to start. If this video helped, tap like so more exhausted parents can find it. Subscribe for more research-backed support. And tell me in the comments which step you're going to try first. You're doing better than you think. And your baby is more capable than you realize.